cyclists are now defecating in the front gardens. Hey everybody, hello! Welcome to today's video. That was Ulster. We're just over 10 miles into today's ride. Left, is it about 5 o'clock? No, it's gone 5. 5:15. It's Sunday, by the way, of course. And today we're just, pootling round the lanes of Warwickshire. It's not often I come out this way. It's probably over a year since I cycled along some of these roads. Squirrel! That was nearly a flat squirrel. So I know we're heading towards Coton, but then I'm not sure where. So let's find out. Sorry that it's been a while since my last video, probably a couple of weeks ago now. I think I said in that video how I was quite busy. Well, I have been. It's been difficult to find time. I haven't had time to do any longish rides, and certainly no time to do the edit afterwards. But I think I'm over the hump of that now, so should be back to normal going forward. Word has reached me from a few people asking where I am and how I haven't uploaded for a couple of weeks. I'm not going to name anyone, but you know who you are. Sorry. But here's a video, and I'll be back on track, hopefully going forward. I've only really had time to go out for little rides. I have gone out a couple of times in the evenings on a Saturday night. And that's been really good. Managed to free up an hour and a half and get out there. Really enjoyed those evening rides. Last Sunday I had to get home quite early, so that's why I didn't vlog that one. Just wanted to push on, and as I've said before, when I'm vlogging my rides, I tend to go a lot slower. But anyway, today's ride. It wouldn't be one of my videos without a ford crossing. But look, this one's got a nice bridge. There we go. It's Coton Court. I found a nice little quiet back road out of Coton. No cars. Perfect. That reminds me about something I want to talk about, but we'll do that a little later. You probably already know about it because I'll title the video something to do with it. So I haven't been able to do much riding, but I hope you have. I think most of my viewers are UK based. It's been pretty good, hasn't it, recently, weather-wise? We've had a couple of hot weeks. It's been so hot, in fact, I haven't been able to do much, well, I haven't done any Zwift riding at all. My little cabin where I do my Zwifting, it's just been too hot, far too hot. Sweating loads before you even jump on the bike, so that's been no good. But I hope you've all been able to get out and enjoy the weather. Roads like these are the best. This is why I come out cycling. Looks like a viaduct. Morning. Okay, so today's topic I'd like to have a little chat about. Who saw on Channel 5 this week Cyclists, Scourge of the Streets? An almost entirely one-sided view on the fight for space on British roads. I don't know why they bothered putting the question mark on the end. Did anyone see it? It was a truly awful piece of documentary, continually referring to the war between motorists and cyclists. What war? Thank you. What war's this? How can cyclists compete with 2-ton metal boxes on the roads? We're the vulnerable road users. And the war between who? Cyclists and motorists. Okay, I ride a bike, but I also drive a car. I go on trains and buses. I'm sure most of us do. So to label people and put them in these two factions against each other is just wrong. We're all people, fathers, sons, daughters, mothers, wives, and that shouldn't get forgotten. But yes, the programme would quite often have opinions presented as facts, and these would go unargued. They wouldn't be corrected. It just leaves the viewer thinking that it was true. It began with various motorists, including London taxi drivers, giving their views. One guy said, "It's like a plague of lotuses coming down the road."
They're like a plague of lotuses coming down the road. They're like herds of them.
I think he meant locusts. Or, I don't know, maybe he's got something against the ex-siege. They also used the fairly broad brush in saying all cyclists are lawbreakers.
All the while seeming to escape the law.
Have it out with them, not me.
They're lawless.
But failed to mention the recent survey which showed that the majority of law breaking on our roads is done by motorists, not cyclists, and that overwhelmingly cyclists are law abiding. Of course, they showed plenty of footage of cyclists jumping lights and riding on pavements. They use that one a lot.
Many motorists see cyclists as scum of the road.
Generally, people just hate cyclists.
Speeding through crossings, riding where they shouldn't.
Look at this one, look. He's on the central reservation.
They had on there a Surrey resident who wasn't happy that since the Olympics, Box Hill was now teeming with cyclists, all trying to beat Strava. He took us up there in his car and showed us the problem. And yeah, there were a lot of cyclists. And he was complaining that it was impossible to get past. They were using up half the road. But he failed to see the irony that he was driving a massive 4x4 vehicle which took up more than half the road itself. He also said that cyclists are now defecating in the front gardens and that the only thing he could do was move away. Morning. From what I can remember, there were only two people presenting the other side of the argument. The first was a self-appointed vigilante who goes out wearing body armour, Kevlar, with his cameras in order to capture motorists using their mobile phones and other law breaking, put it on YouTube and send it to the police.
And the crusading cyclists.
I'm going to report you for careless driving. Listen, you will be, yeah?
This is the battle for Britain's roads.
It's when the get out of the van and want to play slap and tickle.
Can't get out! Come here!
To be honest, it didn't paint a good picture of cyclists, a very extreme view, and would only make the general public dislike us more, I think. However, these people were breaking the law, and not much was said about that. About the number of people he does catch. It just seemed to be acceptable. The only voice of reason and with actual facts was an officer from the West Midlands Police Force. I believe he was part of Operation Close Pass, is that what it's called?
If you were realistically endangered several times a journey, you'd get quite wound up about it as well.
And he went out on his police bike, all labelled up in his uniform, and was catching people overtaking him far too close. And they were getting pulled over, educated, and if necessary, fines and points. One lady got pulled over, did a really close pass. She got pulled over, and she was on her phone, while doing the overtake, and also had a baby and a child in the front who wasn't strapped in.
The unforgiving law enforcers.
You were what, sorry? You were ending your call?
Easily visible as a police officer, but she didn't notice him. But during this segment, they failed to narrate or put on screen the actual law about passing a cyclist, the distance it should be. The only thing I noticed was a very brief shot of a sticker on the back of his folder which had the distance on, but they didn't make a point of it. You see, I think that one was far too close. It happens to us all the time. I know I'm talking to the wrong group of people here. We all know the situation. I'm on my bike almost every day of the week, and there'll be 1 or 2 close passes every day. And why? It saves them a few seconds, but they get it wrong. It's life-changing. What he did get to say in his far too brief appearance was that cyclists cause no trouble to the police, and that 99% of all road accidents, fatal accidents, are caused by motor vehicles. But I doubt that will get heard and remembered in the noise of opinions and misinformation from the rest of the programme. It's a shame they didn't have a calm voice of reason on from Chris Boardman to give a cyclist's point of view. I doubt he was even invited though, as this week he put out a video with British cycling, and that's definitely worth the watch. It's only a couple of minutes, but it does argue against some of the points given in the programme. One of my favourites at a time of congestion, rising obesity, climate change, people who ride a bike, commuting, going to the shops, cycling to school. We're not the problem, we're the solution to the problem. And it needs to be remembered that we're all people, and we just need to be more caring to each other when on the road. The only surprise I had was that they didn't bring out that old gem of cyclists not paying road tax. I was waiting for it. I thought somebody would say it. Anyway, that's probably all I'm going to say on that, in my opinion. An awful documentary, which will only add fuel to the fire in this argument between people who drive in cars and people who ride bikes. Of course, if you've got something to say, have an opinion, drop it in the comments below and we'll try and get a discussion going. Right, we're now 62 miles in, so over 100k, 20 past 9. Ooh, let me just check something here. Yes, we're in Welford-on-Avon, and that is one of the tallest maypoles in the UK, if not the tallest, 66 feet. Oh no, oh no, this is almost certainly a puncture. Hedge cutting is the worst thing for a cyclist. I might be lucky, it wasn't too bad. Hedge was further back from the road, but we'll see. So we're now heading in the direction of Broadway. That's probably 10 miles away. I might get a phone call later calling me into Evesham, but we'll see. Hello. So Broadway, and I think there's a motor show on this weekend. Let's go and have a look.
Manufacturer of the car.
Do you see anything you like? The Morgans look good. Wouldn't mind a Morgan. So yes, I am now heading into Evesham. I'm going to meet up with the family. I think they're having a picnic. Hope they got some food for me. Steam train. That's such a nice smell. Well, we had our little picnic in Evesham by the river, and now heading home. Oh, update on my saddle. I've got to send it back for a warranty inspection. I don't know how long that's going to take. It's really annoying. I've sent them loads of photos. Well, at least they're looking at it. I have to give up this saddle for quite a while, I imagine. I'll keep you updated, see what happens. I hope they accept that it is a fault and I can get a replacement. I don't know whether fixing it will be any good. That is one of the options apparently, but we'll see what they say. Well, that's pretty much the end of another video. Thanks very much for coming with me. I guess all the usual stuff, like, subscribe, bell, you know the deal, it's YouTube. I'll probably bring you out on an evening ride next week, as long as I can get out again. But in the meantime, have a great day and a great week, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Alright, bye for now.